Good morning to those of you watching us live, and hello to those of you who may be watching this in a recorded format. This is another one of the previews of the ARVR Innovate Conference. I'm Alex Gibson, the founder of the conference, and delighted to welcome to the broadcast today, Eric Chevallet. Thanks very much for joining us today, Eric.
Good morning, Alex, and thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. You're with a company called BearingPoint, and delighted to say that this year BearingPoint are a gold sponsor of the ARVR Innovate Conference. I suppose we should start by orienting the people watching this to who BearingPoint are as a company.
As a company, we are a management consulting firm, fairly large because we have something like more than 5,000 consultants. We have a strong footprint in Europe, so it's part of our culture, even though we have offices in the US and Asia, but the biggest offices are in Europe. And we're covering everything that a large consulting firm does, regardless of the industry or the service we can provide. So we're pretty holistic in that sense.
Now, your focus, obviously, is in the immersive technology space, AR and VR. Tell me how you got into the space, Eric, and a little bit about the nature of your lab there in Paris, what you do.
So, yeah, I'm heading the immersive lab, where basically we're looking at everything that will be enabled by immersive technology, being AR or VR. We have a stronger focus on VR, but we're doing as well stuff on AR. And the point behind is really as part of our core business, which is consulting, to identify where we can generate value for our client leveraging immersive technology, basically.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned Paris because that's where I'm based, but we have people basically all over Europe working on that, and several teams across the countries.
Yeah, and including here in Dublin. I know that you've done some interesting work here with the team in the Dublin office and people who go to the conference. We won't be showcasing everything that you're going to talk about, because I think it's important for people to go to the event, but they will see work that the team here in Dublin have been working on with yourself in the team in Paris.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to show what we did with a famous rugby club.
Yeah, great. I'll let people to guess that. Some people may already have, but definitely worth coming along and experience that VR creation that you've put together. So it's very much a live. It's a live technology within your business. I think that's something that's probably worth sharing a little bit with the audience. You know, you do use this technology yourself as a kind of sandbox to test before you, as it were, try and convince clients of its value in certain contexts. Internally, you're using a lot too, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, you have two ways to talk about VR. Either you read what's on LinkedIn and you get yourself an idea, or you put your hands on. And we are trying a lot of things. We're developing a lot of initiatives. We have a lot of use cases on the shelf that we can actually solve with this technology. And yeah, we're learning it by doing it, basically. Like this, when we talk to our client, we're very credible in what we are saying, because we're facing as well all the issues that you have when you try to deploy at scale this kind of technology, basically. So which is a key thing. If you don't face it, because when you have to manage the headset, you have to manage the computers, you have so many things to manage that it makes things a bit complicated when you want to scale.
So let's talk specifically about Friday, 26th of March, not that far away now, and you're coming over, talking as a keynote speaker at ARVR Innovate. For people who don't know, there are still tickets available, and it's in Dublin here in the RDS, and there's a large expo area as well as opportunity to hear keynotes. But Eric, tell us a little bit about the themes that you yourself will be talking about during your keynote presentation.
Sure. So one of the key hurdles that our clients are facing is basically having a view that is beyond the short-term view. When you look at innovation and things like this, because we're still in a very innovative phase for companies, it's very hard to see which direction you want to take and where you want to go. So the natural habit will be to look at a very short-term outcome. But the thing is VR is so impactful on what you can do with it within a companies that you cannot only look at short-term proof of concept or things like this. You really need to have a direction to go to. And so what we're going to talk about is how you actually address this and how you set yourself in a journey to go along the path and to generate all the value you can actually get out of that. And especially because what is very important is that you have a lot of dots to connect.
Yeah, just on that point, one of the things I've observed here in Ireland certainly is that a lot of activity around AR and VR is within innovation teams. But of course, a key challenge is to take the project from the innovation team to the C-suite itself. I mean, it's something I know you'll talk in much more detail about in Dublin. But for people who are watching this, who are part of innovation teams, they're very convinced about AR and VR. They're really, they can see the opportunity. They read about this. They study it. What would be a piece of advice that you could give them to get buy-in from senior management?
Well, what you need to understand is that not everyone has an innovation agenda, and the business has different agenda, and so you need to work on that. So you need to make sure you have a holistic view on every stakeholder's agendas, and you need to work out of that. So what will be the benefit? And the key question is, what will be the benefit of VR for a CFO, for chief marketing guys, or for and so on and so forth. That's how you need to tackle it to make sure it goes to the C-suite level. Because if you stay at the innovation level, you have a proof of concept, it's nice, then it ends up in a drawer and nothing gets out of that. You don't generate value with that.
Okay, so I know you'll expand more on that at the conference itself. A question that I've been asking everybody in these previews, and it would be remiss if I didn't ask you, I guess, because it's certainly the big topic in the tech world today, artificial intelligence. Excuse me. But I'm interested in how you see AI impacting on immersive technologies, both, maybe short term, but even thinking a little bit further ahead.
Well, short term, I think that AI is high right now because ChatGPT has been very successful lately and everyone talks about it. A year ago, it was Metaverse because Meta renamed itself to Facebook, renamed itself to Meta. So I think we're jumping to the next one. What is very sure is that all those technology, the line between them is getting blurrier by the day. And when you look at what kind of use case you can solve, you cannot only look at, okay, what am I going to do with AI or what am I going to do with the immersive technology? You need to look, okay, how do I combine all of these technologies to make sure that I have a compelling experience for my users, regardless of who he is, and the value you can generate out of that into that. So we're going to see a lot. I mean, the value we really bring by combining basically those different technologies, and AI will be a big thing as well, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, it's just breathtaking, the speed at which this is happening. It seems to me that, we're seeing, one obvious area is in virtual reality training, for example, avatars that you can have, inverted commas, natural conversations with that can, do more deep level training that we might have thought this was many years away. But in fact, what we're seeing is that it's already happening, and it's, it's something that can be brought to scale relatively quickly for a lot of companies.
Yeah, well, there's one issue behind is when you look at deep tech, it's really the cost to enable that behind, which is still today some sort of a blocking point. So, but yeah, the costs are, Moore's law being what it is, the costs are being cut down very fast. So yeah, it's going to come for sure.
Yeah. Final question for you, Eric. It's a question I ask all of the respondents because ARVR Innovate is indeed a very international conference. I think we have speakers from 7 or 8 countries penned in for this year's event to get a sense of the AR and VR scene in your own local market. So difficult question in one sense to give an overview, but how would you describe the AR VR scene currently in France?
I think it's hard to tell exactly with being very generic, but I think like everywhere, it's very high on everyone's agendas. I think the word metaverse is a bit behind us now because everyone understands that was not the end goal, but metaverse-like experience is very important. Obviously, in France, we have a very strong luxury industry, so they are doing a lot in that sense. But everyone is working on it, regardless of their role in the value chain. Basically, everyone is looking at that.
Super. Eric, really enjoyed the conversation with you today. And I know that a lot of people will be very keen to get along to Dublin. Just to remind people watching this, if you go to the website, ARVRinnovate.com. I'll put that up on the ticker tape there, ARVRinnovate.com. They can get tickets. But for now, Eric, thanks for taking time out today to talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, for that. And I can't wait to see you end of May.